everybody, it's Melissa Sorrentino, the Improv Sophisticate. I want to talk to you guys today a little bit more about rules. And I want to kind of start with talking about minding your own business. I know, it's very personal. It really is. But it's so important. The thing with improv is this. It's going to attract people who don't tend to be rule followers. So if you're a big time rule follower and you're also a big time non-minder of your own business, you're going to end up frustrated with your fellow players. And that frustration is just going to lead to you being more and more in that kind of codependent way where it's like, well, I really think I'm helping people. And you're just going to drive yourself nuts. And eventually you're going to drive other people nuts. And it reads and it's not very fun and it's not very loose. Now, clearly there are some rules that if people are all abiding by, it makes things more fun. You know, like I wouldn't really enjoy if somebody came over my house right now and just started lighting things on fire. I'd be like, oh, please don't light things on fire in my house. And if they've got, you know, some sort of like a asshole personality, they may argue with me and say, oh, wow, you have a lot of rules in your house that I have to follow. Like, I have to keep track of so many rules. Like, you know, you wouldn't let me drop trowel when I walked in the room. You wouldn't let me, you know, piss in the kitchen sink. And now you won't let me light things on fire. So, you know, clearly, you know, within reason, but reason is going to be something that people disagree on. It's the truth. So, I want to talk about like starting scenes. I want to talk about, starting things off as a beginner. I have like a lot of kind of backlog thoughts of things that I want to tackle in future videos. But I'm recognizing even before I do any of that, that it's pretty important to me to put out there how really unimportant it is what all those specific rules are. These are just tips. They're things that will help you if they speak to you, and they won't help you if they don't, except they will help you because hopefully they'll expand your mind, and hopefully they'll give you a little bit more perspective on somebody else who might not think just the way that you do. And that's so important. Typically, one big difference in the way people think in improv is which school did they come from. Another one might be like, what level are you at? Beginners are so wonderful to be around because they remember what makes improv like rock. Some of us have seen and done so much improv that it's like, I mean, sometimes you guys, when you're teaching people and you're jaded, you're not really doing anybody any favors. If you're jaded and you're like, well, I've seen that scene 25 times before. Or, well, you know, whoa, another suggestion of spatula, another suggestion of peanut butter. I mean, those are the two that do get thrown out there. But, you know, maybe there's a reason why some of those things are the freshest first things people think of. And if you just approach it in a non-judgmental fashion and just recognize the fact that when people are green, they have so much to offer us. When we approach improv as if we're already jaded, we're already over it, we're already sick of everything, that spirit is going to actually like cover your improv with this kind of like oppressive bad attitude, really. And if you, every time you hop on stage, you allow yourself to just be a beginner and allow yourself to break some of your own rules, or allow yourself to, even if your rule is, I don't want to bore myself, allow yourself to bore yourself. Somebody else might not be bored with that choice. Maybe they've never seen it before. So give yourself a little more room to be a beginner, to enjoy the perpetual beginnerness that is inherent in the art form. If you don't embrace that, you're really missing a big ass piece of what improv is like gifting to you. It's like, receive that gift. Totally receive that. I love playing. It's still a ton of fun for me. Now, quite frankly, I'm in a stage of my life where I enjoy doing this more than I enjoy doing improv, and that's partly because I'm curious. I think it's important, if you've been doing improv for a while and you feel burnt out, zip it, don't ruin anybody else's parade if you can help it, and contain that to when you go and you're talking to people that are only within the same jaded camp. But really, honestly, my best piece of advice is take a break. Take a break, find the freshness again, and then come back. Find something that feels fresh to you in your life, infuse that attitude, and then smile and show back up with a good attitude. It's a gift to everyone, primarily, believe it or not, to yourself. Let yourself be free and beginny and stupid and nonsensical. So if you're starting scenes off, clearly there's lots of practical ways you can start a scene. I would disagree with any teacher that's saying, here's how you start a scene. You say who, then you say what, and then you say where. Now, I drive that as a drill in all the classes that I teach because it was driven into me. And I always add the, caveat, footnote to it, to the people I'm teaching. And I say, the reason I'm teaching you this is not because I want you to come out and be like, I'm Colonel Sanders, I'm selling my first drumstick of chicken, and I'm in my first restaurant, which is a food truck. I just made that up. That's clearly not the history of Colonel Sanders, but that was who, that was what, and that was where. I think it's a good exercise because I think having an awareness of as much as you can have is just going to continue to build all those chops to be able to bring a lot to your stories, and also stuff to grab when you brain freeze, right? So when you're stuck and you're like, oh, well, maybe I'm stuck because I don't know where we are yet. Now it's time to name the place. Or if you're stuck and you're like, oh yeah, I learned about emotions. There you go. Now you have something. Now you have something. You got your shit on your shelf and you're pulling stuff off your improv shelves. Okay, I kind of lost the original train of my own thought because I sort of got minute to minute. But I think I've made my point that I started this video off with, which is just that I think rules are things that are here to help us. When they are not helpful, we chuck those puppies. That's the beauty of improv. It is a very loose art form. And if you can get away with embracing the looseness, which is kind of ironic because how do you embrace loose? But to just be loose yourself. That's the best way to embrace it. So, when it comes to rules, when it comes to tips and pointers, absolutely accept them as tools that you're putting in your toolbox, but you're not required ever to pull out any particular tool at a particular time or particular place unless you have agreed to participate in a group or a show or something that has a set of rules. Then of course you should get on board as far as, just the democracy of your group and of your choice to be part of that. But improv itself, you guys, ain't no rules. Ain't no rules at all, except you're making shit up and you're going one moment at a time. And these are all just pointers. Everything I'm putting in my videos, everything everybody's teaching everywhere is just to give you an opportunity to heighten how fun it is, heighten how strong your choices are, heighten how much you can actually do to evolve from the beginning of the scene to the end of the scene. And this is the end of this video. See you guys later. I hope to see you in the comments, and click like if you like this video, and then I'll know to produce more that are similar to this one, and subscribe. I would love to have you guys on my list, and as I crank these out, I'm trying to do one a day, give or take. So you're gonna have a lot more coming up. All right, take care. Bye.